All right, so for our exam review on Chapter 7, I included one problem from our systems of inequalities that we had talked about in Chapter 6. Just because while we're talking about systems, we can talk about equalities and inequalities, and it just gives us a little bit of extra review. So for number 8, when I'm solving a system of inequalities by graphing, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to graph this just as if it said equal to. So this y is greater than or equal to 4x minus 6. I'm just going to write that as if it said equal to. And so I could graph this since it's already in slope-intercept form. I could say my slope is 4 and my y-intercept is negative 6. So I start at the y-intercept of negative 6. And then I count my slope of 4, that's 4 over 1. So from right here, I'm going to rise 1, 2, 3, 4, and run 1. Rise 1, 2, 3, 4, run 1. And that would give us our line y equals 4x minus 6. All right. Then remember that if it has an equal to with it, I use a solid line. If it doesn't have an equal to with it, I use a dotted line. So for this one that we just graphed, it did have an equal to with it, and so you'll notice we've got a solid line for that one. Additionally, we need to figure out, are we going to shade on the left-hand side over here, or are we going to shade on the right-hand side over here? And the way that we can tell is by using a test point. So I like to use 0, 0 if it's not on my line. 0, 0 is not on my line, it's over here. So I'm going to go back to my original inequality. Y is greater than or equal to 4x minus 6. You can see that right here. And I'm going to put in a test point, put in 0 for x and 0 for y. So if I put in 0 for x and I put in 0 for y, that's going to give me 0 is greater than or equal to negative 6, which is true. So if this one point over here worked, I could pick any point on this whole side of the graph over here and it would also work. So that lets me know that I want to shade on the left-hand side. So you can bring different colors if you want to, or you can do as I did here, like I did vertical lines for this one, and then for the next one I'll do horizontal lines and I'll be able to see where they overlap, where I have hashtags. All right, then for the second one, we've got negative 2x plus 4. So that's a slope of negative 2 and a y-intercept of 4. So I'm going to start at 4, and my slope is going to be negative 2 over 1. So that means that I'm going to rise a negative 2, run a positive 1, rise a negative 2, run a positive 1, rise a negative 2, run a positive 1. So there's that line. There's the negative 2x plus 4. Now to figure out if it's solid or dotted, remember if it doesn't have the equal to with it, then it's going to be dotted. So that's why this one was dotted. And now I just have to figure out, am I shading over here on the left or am I shading over here on the right? And so again, I'm going to pick a test point. 0, 0 was not on my line, so I can use that. So I'm going to go back to the original inequality. Y is less than a negative 2x plus 4. And I'm going to put 0 in for x and 0 in for y. And I get 0 is less than 4, which is a true statement. So that lets me know that I'm going to shade over here on the left-hand side. So again, a moment ago I used vertical lines. This time I'm going to use horizontal lines to shade my left-hand side. And my solution is my intersection. So I'm looking for where I have horizontal and vertical lines, or if you used colors, where they're overlapping. The only way to give your answer is with a graph. And so you need to clearly show that you know this overlap right here is your answer. And the way you do that is just darken this in. Just take the side of your pencil and make this area darker, shade it darker so that we can see, you know, that that's what the solution is.